Tension continues to grow on the streets of Los Angeles days after President Donald Trump deployed the National Guard in response to protests that were sparked by federal immigration raids. Michael Yoshida is on the ground. And Michael, what have you been seeing and hearing? It looks like things are heating up behind you there.
Hey there, Cynthia. After a morning of peaceful protests and relative calm, we started to see the tensions, the activity pick up. You can see a group of protesters behind me. This is right outside that federal detention center here in downtown LA. This has been a focus throughout the weekend. It's where on Sunday we saw massive protests and some of those clashes with law enforcement.
Protests rocked the Los Angeles area over the weekend in response to the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Dozens of people have been arrested as law enforcement says the protests have turned violent. Vehicles were set on fire, and law enforcement used flashbangs and tear gas to break up the crowds.
Last night was probably one of the most volatile nights that we had in the city of Los Angeles.
President Donald Trump deploying hundreds of National Guard troops, which he said was to protect federal personnel and property, despite no calls for them from California Governor Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass.
What was the reason that the president had to take the power from the governor and federalize the National Guard?
Newsom is now threatening to sue the Trump administration over the move. Authorities have declared all of downtown Los Angeles an unlawful assembly area. President Trump addressing the unrest from outside the White House.
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators, they're insurrectionists, they're bad people, they should be in jail.
The National Guard is staging in at least 3 locations across L.A., including the Metropolitan Detention Center, where Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters was denied entry Sunday.
I need to get in. They said, we're not letting anybody in, and slam the door. And so I didn't have an opportunity to talk with anybody.
And here's another look. You can see those protesters in the street here. I can tell you just in the last few minutes we have seen them throwing water bottles at law enforcement vehicles, kicking, even hitting those vehicles as they've been heading in towards this detention center. As the afternoon continues, we have seen more law enforcement also start to bring out some of their riot gear, their batons, their helmets, as we are expecting more protests, more rallies as we head into the night hours here in Los Angeles. Cynthia?
Now, Michael, you mentioned that the state is threatening to sue Trump, and there's really no love lost here between the president and Governor Gavin Newsom.
This has been going on for quite some time, whether it's wildfires, other emergency responsive. There's always been some tension, some war of words between the two. Over the weekend, the borders are for the Trump administration talking about potentially maybe arresting some of the leaders here in California. Trump earlier saying that maybe they should go ahead and do that, while Gavin Newsom continues to call the actions here by the president illegal, immoral, and unconstitutional.
Okay, Michael, thank you. And that is CNN's Michael Yoshida in Los Angeles.